One of the secrets to exposure for your business lies within supporting Black businesses and entrepreneurs. And that is why the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce is here, to connect Black businesses from the desert to the sea. Let's join hands to empower and sustain our community. By becoming a member of the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce, you can grow your business and increase your clientele. With our innovation, we'll generate new businesses and get new customers. And we'll connect new mindsets with businesses from across Southern California to help bridge the wealth gap. Let's connect, build, and grow together. Join us now at blackchamberofcommerce.org.
I'm muted. Hello, everyone. Welcome to your weekly Chamber podcast. I am your host, Nikisha, VP of Corporate Affairs over here at the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce. And we just get together. It's very casual, relaxed. If you're new, welcome. So excited you decided to join us today. If you're a new member, excited that you decided to be a part of the team. Make sure that you reach out, leave your name in the chat. We would love to hear from you. So as you guys know, we always like to do this with a little bit of updates and a little bit of training, and we'd like to have some special guests. So I'm hoping to have a special guest on today, but I did not get a confirmation, so don't hold your breath. But for you guys, I did my post-its. Yes. So we'll be doing a training today. And you know what? The goal of these trainings, it's not that you don't know this stuff. I know you know this stuff. You wouldn't be in the position that you are today if you didn't already know this stuff and already implementing it. But sometimes we need a reminder. So that's what I'm here to do, is just to give you a reminder. Make sure that you go to our website, blackchamberofcommerce.org. That way you can get connected with all the different presidents. If you didn't know, one membership with the chamber actually gets you in contact with 15 different chapters. So it's like one membership, 15 chapters, endless connections. And all of those chapters, most of those chapters meet at least once a month. So we'll be talking about what's coming up in August. I think we have a few more left for what month are we in? Where are we? Who are we? What are we doing with our lives? July. And so we will be sharing all of that, but all the information is on the website. So make sure that you join. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Facebook, which you're probably watching it here. That way that you can get to see all the great things that are going on and then meet all the fun people and just connect. We would love to have you connect. Okay. We are on the struggle bus today. My light broke, so if the lighting looks weird, I'm sorry. I apologize in advance. But let's get on to our announcements. Last time I did announcements and training together. I kind of like blended them in the two. Do you guys care? What do you think? Leave it in the comments. I'd love to know your thoughts. Do you want me to just stick with training and do the announcements separate, or do them kind of interspersed? You let me know. But for now, we're going to go ahead and get it started with the announcements. Okay. First to the stage, we have Pomona. They are going to be meeting on August 3rd from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. over on Park Avenue in Pomona. Great monthly mixers. All the mixers are different because all the presidents are different. I used to be the president of the Temecula Valley, and so I like to have lots of trainings with mine. But I've seen different mixers where everybody's going to have a speaker, and everybody's going to have food, and everybody's going to have networking. But some people will have a comedy show. Some people have casino night. Some people will just have, political figures out. So you never know what you're going to get. So make sure that you join us on August 3rd and get out there to Pomona. And when you have a membership, you can go to all the mixers for free. Oh, yeah. Yes, absolutely for free. What else we have is Barstow is having their mixer coming up on August 4th. They're going to be with Dr. Terrence Stone. So how to move in a room full of vultures. Ooh, I like that. And we need to know that. I read the 48 Laws of Power just so that I could see how the other people think, because I wasn't going to be one of those people. I'm not going to be one of those people, but it's still good to know, because you got to know how people are moving around you, because maybe you don't agree with that, but that doesn't mean the person beside you doesn't agree with that. So let's get out to Barstow and find out what's happening. How do we move in a room with vultures? You can also go to my YouTube if you want to see. I went through all 48 laws of power. My favorite was how to start a cult. Anyway, sidebar, let's keep going. All right. Oh my gosh, you guys. I know I've been talking about this. This is the Business Summit Casino Night that we're going to be having August 21st, 22nd. I know we might have some updates with those dates. It is going to be a phenomenal event. I love these types of events because it blends training and it blends networking, and it's just a great place to go and get all of your information all in one. So we are going to be on the Queen Mary, which is so exciting, you guys. I've never been on the Queen Mary. I didn't even know they did events like that on the Queen Mary. So I was like blown away that I was already like, yes, I don't care. What are we doing? It doesn't matter. Tell me later. We're going on the Queen Mary right now. So make sure that you get your tickets. Go onto the website, get your tickets, $150 for casino night, $75 for the business summit. Of course, you get a discount if you're a member. So make sure that you sign up and do that. And I do have a quick video. Okay, if it doesn't play, let me know in the comments because it hasn't been playing, but I really like the video, so we're going to play it anyway. Okay, you ready? Let's go.
Success leaves clues, and excellence leaves a legacy. Join leaders, entrepreneurs, professionals, and visionaries from across Southern California for the Black Excellence Business Summit 2026, presented by the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce, Long Beach Chapter. On Friday, August 21st, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., connect with influential business leaders, discover new opportunities, build powerful relationships, and gain valuable insights to elevate your career, business, and community impact. Then, the celebration continues with an unforgettable casino night on Saturday, August 22nd, from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Experience an evening of networking, entertainment, gaming, prizes, and purpose aboard the historic Queen Mary in Long Beach.
Every ticket helps support the youth-build organization, empowering young people ages 16 through 24 with opportunities in education, leadership development, workforce training, and lifelong success. Best of all, come build connections. The Black Excellence Business Summit and Casino Night 2026 at the Queen Mary in Long Beach,
where excellence meets opportunity, and together we build the next generation of leaders.
Register today
and be part of the movement.
Okay, yes, make sure that you register today. Be a part of the movement. AI music, sometimes it's a bop. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes it's a bop. So make sure that you get your tickets today. You don't want to miss out on this event. You don't want to miss out on any of our events. And with 15 different chapters, no wonder we always have things going on. So you're going to find something to your liking. And that's the great thing about it. It's not just one thing that we have going on, all throughout the year. You're going to go to all different areas and see all different flavors of things. Matter of fact, so that's being held by our Long Beach chapter. We also have a health and business expo that's going to be held by our Inland Cities East chapter, which is on Saturday, September 26th. So we're still seeking some panel participation. So if you are a health expert or you're in the health field, we definitely would love to have you come out here and sit on a panel. And I'm always saying that this is a great platform. And that's really why I got connected with the chamber. Oh my gosh, it's probably been over 10 years now. It's because I really wanted to be in a place where they were providing opportunities. Let me just tell you what we've done today. We, since this year, we had a Martin Luther King Day parade that we're going to be doing again in January, but we had that in this January. We were at the the San Bernardino County Museum in Redlands. We had a whole Black Renaissance. So all the artists in the area were able to put their paintings or, designs up into the, why am I losing my words, guys? Listen, in the museum. So that's a great opportunity. So What else did we do? Let's see. We're doing we did another business opportunity that happened in May. We're doing another, and that was in Ontario. Now we're doing another one in Long Beach. So I'm saying all that to say is that connect with the chamber. This is where you're going to find opportunities like this to participate in panels where you might not get called on, because most of the time people do business with people that they like. They do business with people that they know. And right now it's so hard to get to know people, right? I mean, I hear people talking about that all the time. It's hard to meet people. It's hard to find people. It's hard to connect with people. So when you join the chamber, look at all the different areas that you can connect. And let's say that you go to one area and you don't like those people. Guess what? You got 14 other places that you can go. I'm sure you're going to find your tribe. So make sure that you join in membership. Another opportunity that we have, and this one I love because we've been doing this one for years as well. Legacy and Pink fashion show. So on Saturday, I don't know if you guys made it out there, but they were doing all of the models. What is that called? Not doing all the models. That's gross. What am I trying to say? Casting. That's the word I'm looking for. They were casting models on Saturday. So if you were a model and you got an opportunity to be in a fashion show, and this one is going to be, I think, Mark Littlejohn. He's going to be the head designer. But that could have been you, right? If you were connected, if you knew who to talk to. I always wondered, like, how do people get into opportunities like this? And when I joined the chamber, I was like, oh, that's so easy. Sidebar, I got to tell you guys, my husband got an award one time, and it's a well-deserved award, right? So it's not like it wasn't a well-deserved award, but it was kind of like, well, you know, I know this person, I know this person, I know that person. So yeah, okay, we're going to give it to you. And it made me think, like, that's kind of how life is. When you look at the things that are going on in the world and everyone's like, I can't believe he would do that. I can't believe, you know, Trump is doing this and he gave that with a no bid contract and he gave this with a no bid that. Why is he doing that? That's business. He said he was going to run it like a business owner and he did. Oh my gosh. And now we're seeing that because that's how businesses run. If you're a business owner and you've got a great vendor over here who's done work for you in the past, so you trust them, boom, what are you going to do? You're going to give them the work. Why? Because it's easier. So that's why you got to get connected, because you need to be the person that people think of when it's time to get that work done. You know, we had a landscape construction business for over 20 years and still people are like, oh yeah, that turf thing. It's only until like right now that people are like, oh yeah, you do that turf things. 20 years later, it took 20 years to remind you. And think about this if you're looking for a new client. It takes 7 to 12 contacts with that person for them to even start considering making a decision about your product. So I'm saying all that to say, you need to network, you need to get out there, you need to persist, right? So that you can have the opportunities that are available to you. Okay, let's keep going on so we can get to our training. Because like I said, I got minutes. I don't know why I get so geeky about that. Anyways, I need to get my life together. But that's another conversation for another day. Let's move forward. All right. So we also have, no, you need to move down. Where's the other one that I put up there? See, it doesn't want to let me be great. Hold on. Move. Oh, that's why, because I had 2 up there. Sorry. Okay, so save the date. Out in Barstow as well, they're going to be having their annual awards dinner. So you might be thinking, Nikisha, I thought you just said they're having one in Long Beach. Yes, we have one in Long Beach. We have one in Barstow. We have 15 different chapters. We're going to be everywhere. So this is a great event. Last year, I heard, I didn't get a chance to go up there, but I heard they were a sold out event. And they were supposed to sell tickets at the door. It was standing room only. They couldn't even sell tickets at the door. So that's why they're putting out the save the dates. I've already seen both Barstow, just like they're geeking out about this. They're already booking up tickets right now. So this will definitely be a sold out event. It always is. Great speakers, great food, great time. And remember, this is a great opportunity for us to celebrate ourselves. How many times in the business industry do you get to celebrate yourself? Probably not as much as you deserve. So I want you to make sure that you go out there, get connected so that you can start celebrating yourself, because the grind of business is hard, guys. Y'all know. So we need to take a moment and celebrate the wins, celebrate our things. Why do we do that? Why do we want to celebrate? Why are you pushing this so hard, Nikisha? I'm pushing this because our brains are actually wired for this, right? So when we do something and we give ourselves a reward, it means we want to do it again. That's that whole dopamine thing. So when we reward ourselves for successes in business, or we reward ourselves for the things that we're doing, we're more likely to do more of that, because your brain is like, oh, that was so nice. Thank you for doing that for me. Oh, you like that? Let me do this again. And a lot of these things are subconscious, but I got to tell you, it really does work. Okay, what else do we have? We got one more event, like I was telling you about. We have the Martin Luther King Day Parade. Well, first, it's the gala that's going to be happening on the 16th. That's the Service Award Gala. It's a great event. I love going to that event. When you do this in celebration of such an iconic figure, you're going to get everybody coming out. And so it's such an amazing time to celebrate ourselves, to celebrate all the community leaders who are out there really moving the needle. You know, when you think about it, there's a decision that you could make today that could leave a legacy, like King, right? Or like Rosa Parks, like I'm not going to sit in the back of the bus. Like small things sometimes can turn into huge movements later on. We're still celebrating this man after all these many years. So make sure that you get connected. We're going to be doing that on January 16th. And like I said, we also have the extravaganza and parade. This is so much fun. I got to ride in a car one year. That was so much fun. I got to sit outside and go, yeah, hi. And people were yelling and screaming like I was somebody important just because I'm sitting in a car in a parade. So much fun. You can actually do that for your business. So if you want your business to go out there and be in front of all of the high schools and middle schools in San Bernardino, this is definitely the event that you want to do that. After the parade, they have a big extravaganza. It's over there at 624 West 4th Street. The whole parking lot is full of vendors. It's stage, music, fun, face painting, food carts. It's a blast. It is absolutely a blast. And if you get a chance to get a car and ride in a parade, I suggest you do that. It is so much fun. People treat you like you're an actual celebrity, even though you're just you and your only little self. All right, you guys. So like I said, we have a training today. So we're going to get to that right after this commercial break.
Good news for the Southern California business community. Now you can add your business to the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce Business Directory complimentary. We have been working tirelessly to build a list of Black-owned enterprises in Southern California. This is an excellent way for you to be a part of an expansive network and find your ideal customers, business partners, and vendors. So don't waste time. Visit blackchamberofcommerce.org today and add your business today.
I got to tell you too. Oh, hi, welcome back for the weekly podcast. I'm your host, Nikisha Bond, VP of Corporate Affairs over here at the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce. And I was going to say, there's a huge movement right now of Buy Black. It's at a place that I've never seen. Like I said, I've been with the chamber for over a decade now. And the last time Trump was in office and white supremacy was on the march, Black businesses did very, very well. So I actually low-key kind of like it when things are crazy, because then people are like, oh, we need community. We need to work together. We need to build together. And it's like, yes, come on, let's do that. Let's do it now. We can do it. So I'm really, really excited about that. So make sure that you are getting, go to the website, blackchamberofcommerce.org. It's scrolling at the bottom. Put your name in the directory. And if you don't see it there, please call me, because we do have to manually approve them. And so sometimes they forget to do that. So if you do put it in the directory and you don't see it, email me, my first and last name at blackchamberofcommerce.org, and I'll make sure that it gets approved. Everybody is able to add their name to the directory, and you don't even have to be a member. But listen, when you become a member, I want you to reach out to me personally so I can make sure that you get connected. I can make sure that you get everything that's going on. At least once a week, we're sending out emails to let everybody know about all the events that are happening, all the trainings that are going on. And most of these trainings are free. I know we have Meta came out in Riverside County and talked to everybody about AI and how Meta's doing AI. So we have so many different connections. Even at that business summit, like I was telling you, we had the IRS out there. We had the CDTFA. We have connections everywhere. So make sure that you get connected, make sure that you become a member, and make sure that you reach out. Or just leave your name in the comments and I will make sure that I get back to you. All right, let's get into our training today. Okay, everybody get your notepads, get your pens, get your paper. We are going to get into our training mode. So as you guys know, or maybe you don't know, my background is in Lean Six Sigma. What is that, Nikisha? It's a problem-solving discipline. And I like to describe it as just giving you a bunch of tools. And on their own, the tools mean nothing. It's how you apply them to your business. But what I've learned after so many years of being in Lean Six Sigma is that it's actually just the way that you think. And I do these types of trainings and I'm like, I listen to them and I'm like, this is obvious stuff. But then when I tell people, like, oh my gosh, that was transformative. And I'm like, why? And it's because I've gotten so used to thinking like this that it's automatic. I don't even think about thinking this way. But so many people were never taught how to think, right? They tell you how to memorize stuff. They tell you how to repeat stuff, regurgitate. Sometimes they teach you a little bit of critical thinking, but not like how to think, like how to think of a problem, right? And there's so many problems right now that we're trying to navigate in these uncertain times with AI and all the technology, and everything is just moving at a fast pace. So this is going to be a great exercise. It's called the gap analysis. This is going to be good for anybody who is trying to go from where they are to where they want to be, right? And so what I call that is the gap. This is where you are, and this is where you want to be. And now this gap, my head, right, is what you got to fill. And a lot of people just get stuck and say there's a gap. And then what do? They go on about their lives because they don't know how to solve the gap. But today, I'm going to teach you on how. I'm not going to help you solve it, but a way of thinking about it so that you can solve it on your own, because I promise you, you have the answer. I have done so many consultations with people, and I've talked to people so many times. It's not that people don't know what to do. They're just overwhelmed and dealing and inundated with all the emotions with what they have to do that they can't think, right? But the solution is there. So we're going to talk about it. So first, what is a gap analysis? These are my notes. If you guys are new, I like to do little post-its because I like to, and it's my prerogative. So that's what we're going to do. Gap analysis is a strategic planning tool that will help you understand where you are and where you want to be and how to get there. So that's what a gap analysis does. So if you want to leave something in the comments, we can use your example. I know it's a little bit of exposure, but I'm happy to do. I love doing it live with people who are actually dealing with stuff, because for some reason, everybody's got their skill. My weird skill is that people will tell me something and all of a sudden I get a download and all these ideas just start coming of how I can solve your problems. Now, I'm not going to do anything. I'm a conceptualist. I don't do anything, but we can think about it together. So if you have a gap somewhere where you are right now and where you want to be, leave it in the comments and we will go ahead and go through it together. But for argument's sake, let's do something that I think we can all relate to. We want some more money, right? We're business owners. And the reason that most businesses go out of business is they don't have the capital. So let's talk about money. Okay. So this is a 5-step process that we're going to do to think about a gap analysis, which is, what did we say a gap analysis was? It's a tool that helps you find out where you are and where you want to be and how to get there. Okay. Step 1. Here's step 1. You probably can't read it, so I'll read it to you. Decide the topic you're going to do the gap analysis on. What is your challenge? Guys, this right here may seem like it's so simple, like, well, of course, what's your problem? But so many people can't really think about this, because this begets other problems that begets other problems that begets other problems that begets other problems, right? So think of it like this. Anytime you think of a thought and you hold that thought for 67 seconds, it starts to attract more thoughts like it. So the moment you start thinking of a challenge, what's going to happen is more thoughts about that challenge are going to start coming to you. You're going to start thinking about other things. Oh, and this is wrong, and this is wrong, and this is wrong, and this is wrong. So a lot of people never get to just identifying one thing that they can focus on all the way through to completion. Because again, once they start thinking about that one thing, it starts attracting other things, other things, other things, other things. Now I am emotionally stunted because I'm emotionally overwhelmed. So step 1, I want you to decide what topic you're going to do the gap analysis on. Just pick one, right? What is your challenge that you're having right now? Let's say that you have a lack of capital. That's your issue right now. We're just going to focus on one. Why? Because we don't want to get overwhelmed. Step 2, we need to identify where you are right now based on metrics or attributes. In God we trust, everybody else bring data. Let me say it again. In God we trust, everybody else bring data. We don't believe anything that you feel. We don't care about what you think. I want to see your data. I want your numbers, baby. Why? Because we cannot change what we do not acknowledge. Ooh, how many people don't look at their bank account because they don't like the way it looks? But we cannot change what we do not acknowledge. How many people don't know exactly what their monthly bills are? Ooh, but we cannot change what we do not acknowledge. So I want you to identify where you are right now. When I say identify, what do I mean? What is your revenue? The dollar amount. I want to know your dollar amount. What is your profits, right? So we have revenue and we have expenses. Once you have your revenue and you minus your expenses, that left over is profits. What are your profits? Do you know? Do you know your profits on your product line? This is why we're doing this, to identify where we are, because a lot of people think they know and they don't really get into the numbers. Like I remember telling my husband one time, I'm like, do you know that we made almost $1 million this year? He's like, what? I didn't know that. Because he's so busy doing the work. He wasn't thinking about the numbers, right? But when you sit down and you look at the numbers, all of a sudden you start thinking about your business a little bit differently, right? Because hearing that your business made $50,000 and hearing that your business made $1 million, even though the work for both of those, depending on where you are in your business strategy, might feel exactly the same, the number, it changes things. So I want you to start looking at where's your revenue, your profit. What's your market share? Do you even know what percentage of the market that you're claiming in your area? You need to be an expert on that. What are your features? What is your unique value proposition? Attributes, numbers, data. So we cannot change what we do not acknowledge. So step 2, once we've identified the topic, step 2 is we need to get some numbers, because when we're starting to go through all of these changes, we got to go back and say, did we actually fix the issue? Because a lot of times we think we fixed the issue or we worked on a bunch of stuff, but we didn't fix the issue. This is one of the things that I think has helped me so much on lean because it keeps you laser focused on what the solution is, right? That we're not going to get confused, right? And go off over here and go, oh, squirrel, and be off everywhere. No, no, no. We're going to stay focused on what we came here for. So we've identified the issue. We got some data, real data, revenue, expenses, profit, market sharing, things that you can write down, things that objectively we can see. Not, I think I'm busy. Not, I feel like I'm overwhelmed. No, what is your data? Okay. Step number 3, identify where you'd like to be over a specific time frame. Guys, where do you want to be? Where are you going? Where are you going? Do you know where you're going? Do you have a goal? So many people don't know where they're going and they don't have a goal. Why? Because you're busy and you're tired and you don't think it makes a difference. But how can you get to where you're going if you don't know where that destination is? How can we measure success? How can we even say that we were successful if we had no end destination, if we had no end time? If I took a ship and I said launch and go, and it didn't have a destination and it had no time to be there, what would happen? They'd run out of resources and everybody would die. We got to have a destination. So where are you going? Because all of these are getting you to figure out, this is where I am, this is what that looks like, and this is where I'm going. And now what are we trying to do? Fill in my head, not my head, the gap. Remember where you started and where you're trying to go. Okay, so number 3 is identify where you'd like to be over a specific period of time. What do they call those? SMART goals? Specific, measurable, something time. It doesn't matter. Okay, step number 4. Identify the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Okay, right? So we know where we are because we did that in step 1 and we got our data attached to that. We know where we want to be because we did that in step 3. So we got there. So now we're looking here. What's the gap? What am I missing? What don't I have, right? No, let's not get overwhelmed because we're only focused on one thing, right? What did we say? We're talking about money. What do I not have? Do I not have enough people? Do I not have enough machines? Do I not have enough time? What are the things, what are the gaps that you think that you're missing, right? And I've got to, right? So you got to figure out what the gaps you think you're missing are. Okay. Then step number 5, determine how the gap should be filled. And a great way to do this is with a fishbone diagram, which I don't have right now, but you've seen it before where you got the head over here, then you have a spine, and then off of that, you got all these little things that are coming down. That's a fishbone diagram. And basically it keeps you laser focused on where you're going, right? So now when we're looking at something, we can say, I want my business to earn $1 million in revenue, right? Where am I at right now? I make $50,000 in revenue right now. Okay, what's my profit margin? I get that. What are my expenses? I get all my data. And now I know where I'm going. Now, here is the key. This is the key. This is what you've been waiting this whole training for. And you're going to have to wait until after I do this commercial. And we'll talk about it then. But this is how you're going to figure out the gap.
Business owners are raving about the new talk show, Strictly Business with host Rich Wallace. Tune in as the top experts in business share their success stories, strategies, guidance, and advice to help you grow your business. With guests from the top companies to your favorite influencers, Strictly Business with host Rich Wallace is the show to watch for all things business. Our conversations are strictly business. We discuss new funding options, new business initiatives, best business practices, all things business explained. We provide you with the tips you need for your business, all in one morning business talk show. Be sure to tune in. Are you a business owner? Do you have a story to share? Are you able to help our audience? Then we want you on Strictly Business with host Rich Wallace. Visit the website at edgetvnetwork.net and select Be a Guest to schedule your appearance today.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's Nikisha Bond, still doing our training. We're down to our very last Post-it, which is the most important Post-it. So I'm glad that you guys stayed around. I am the VP of Corporate Affairs over here at the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce. Make sure that you go to the website, click on the events tab so that you can see all the major events that we have. If you click on the chapters tab, you can see all the different chapters and their events that they have. So not only do we have corporate events, but we also have individual events. And so if you missed any of that, go back to the beginning of this. I kind of went through all of those. But we were talking about our gap analysis, and we were talking about all of the different steps. So a gap analysis is just a tool to help you decide on where you are and where you want to be. We talked about step one, which is what's the topic? Stay focused, get laser focused on what it is that you want to do. We talked about step two, which is identify where you are based on attributes, data. Don't just say, I feel this, I think that. What is the data that's surrounding it? Also, having data allows you to be more objective. And instead of saying, I think Rachel's bad, I think Tommy should go. No, we want to look at the numbers before we start looking at the people. Identify where you'd like to be over a specific amount of time. You can't get to where you're going if you don't know where that is. And so sometimes that's an exercise in and of itself. I know sometimes as business owners, we're hoping that somebody else knows where we're trying to go, right? Somebody else can give us the answers. No, you've got the answers, so you can give it. Number four, you want to identify the gap between where you are and where you want to be. And then number five, determine how that gap should be filled. Okay. So if we are looking at money as being our issue, right? And now we're looking at what are the gaps? The gap is I don't have enough. Okay, now let's start to dig into that. So here's the 6 M's. When you're looking at a business and you're trying to figure out where do you need to put the improvements, where do you need to put your focus, it's going to be one of 6 areas. So it's either going to be number 1, manpower. Do you need more people or resources? Number 2, methods, processes that you need. Do you need a process? Do you even know how it is? Like maybe it's just disorganization, right? And that's where the things are going. Metrics. What are some of the metrics that you need? Do you not have the data? Remember we said number 2 is that what number did we say that was? Yeah, number 2, I wanted you to have some data. But if you don't have any data, maybe that's what you need is to start collecting some data so you can actually see where you are. Machines. Are you missing machines? Do you need some automation? Are you missing some technology? Materials. What are the material items that you need? Like, do you need some type of a product or something like that? And minutes. Like, what type of time do you need? Do you need time to figure some of these things out? So basically what the gap analysis is allowing you to create the action item list, because a lot of times we'll look at a problem and we'll just start coming up with action items. But are they the right action items? Are they the action items that are actually going to move the needle? Sometimes they are and sometimes they're not. So it's important for you to look and say, okay, let's talk about money, manpower. Do you need people or resources? When would you need people or resources? When your demand is exceeding your capacity. Like there's so much demand, I can't meet it. That's a manpower issue. You need some more people, because if there's demand out there, if somebody wants this, don't you want to give it to them? Right. So if you're saying I need some more money and people want to give me their money, I just don't have enough people to do it, then you need to focus on manpower. You need to get some more people in here so you can actually solve that demand. Methods, processes that you need. Let's say that you have a process and it's costing you money, right? It just takes so long to do it. I'll give you a great example. When we first started in business, I could manage the 1 or 2 customers that we would have a couple times a month. That was no problem. But when you start having 1 or 2 customers every single week, and that goes on for weeks and weeks and weeks, now I can't manage that anymore. Now I'm overwhelmed. Now I can't take on new clients. I don't even want to take on new clients because what am I going to do with them? I can't even keep up with the ones that I have. So the method was I needed a CRM system. I needed some type of, this could be technology as well, but I needed some type of a system that could help the people come in so that I could see them and know where they are and make sure that I followed up with them instead of just having them on a spreadsheet and trying to remember with my mind that I got to follow up with them or sending them out a quote. Did they get it? I don't know. Did you follow up and give it to them? No, I needed a system that could do that for me automatically. So that goes into both the method, right, and the automation, the technology. So that's a great example. Hold on, excuse me. Sorry. So that's a great example of method. Metrics. A lot of times we don't have any metrics in our business. You can get some from QuickBooks, but are you using QuickBooks? Hopefully you are. Do you use the reports that are in QuickBooks? So the metrics allow us to see what's actually going on. And that's really important when we're trying to make decisions as a business owner, because we don't want to get into the habit of just saying, I feel this, I feel that. We want to get into the habit of having data. Nikisha, why do I want to do that? Who cares? Why, if I feel this and I know it because I've been doing this for 20 years, why are you telling me I need to have data? Because you're setting an example for your team. You want your team to come to you with data. You don't want your team to start doing what you do and saying, well, I just think so and I feel this way and I think you need to look into that. No, you want them to get into the habit of coming to you with data, of telling you like this is this, and being more objective about the issue. So you have to lead by example. So that's why I'm a big believer in metrics. Also, too, like what did we say? In God we trust, everybody else bring data. I want to know why you feel that way. not just because you think that, but I want to see the data behind that. Because sometimes you may think there's an issue, but when you look at the data, it's not actually an issue. That's huge. I've seen so many people in business focused on this thing. And I'm like, okay, when you zoom out and you start looking at it, that wouldn't even be a KPI, key performance indicator. That wouldn't even be something you track. It's so insignificant to your business because it doesn't move the needle. So if you're going to be having your profits increase, you want to increase your revenue, you got to have a way to track it. You got to be able to look at it. You got to be able to look at these numbers because we can't do what? We cannot change what we do not acknowledge. So we need to be able to see those numbers. That's why metrics are so important. Machines, automation. This is the fourth one. Technology that you need. And I kind of talked about that with the CRM. AI is great for this, for automating things, for getting you on a schedule. You really need to be looking at, is technology going to solve your issue? Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. For example, when we're out on the field, you would think that if we got equipment, it would make things go faster. But in small yards, sometimes it's actually a hindrance because we bring the machines out there and it starts breaking up sprinklers and it's breaking this rock. And now we got more things that we need to fix. So automation isn't always, but a lot of times it is, because like my other example was with the CRM system. Not only did I need a method, a CRM system, but I also needed a way for them to automatically remind clients like, hey, we sent you a quote. Oh, and I need them to notify me that the person saw the quote. Oh, and I needed to remind the person to like give me a response on the quote. Or I just finished the job and I wanted to automatically remind to get reviews. And I want those to automatically go into my Google. So there's a lot of cases where automation can definitely help you fill in the gap for whatever's going on in your business. So automation is a really good one. Okay, we got two more. Materials, material items that you need. Are you just missing something, right? You don't have a hammer. I know like in our business, we rent a lot of equipment sometimes. And there's always a cost benefit ratio, right? Because if it's an equipment that I don't need to use very often, then it's okay that I rent it. Because when I look at the cost of maybe buying something like a sod cutter, where we're only using it maybe once a month and it's $9,000, I don't know if I'm going to buy that. But a power broom that's only $500 and we use it all the time is something that I'm definitely going to buy. So you see that? So that's when I'm looking at materials. What is the materials that you need? Do you have the materials that you need to do the job? Are you renting the materials? Maybe it's time to buy the materials. Maybe you need to invest. So these are just some of the things that you're looking at when you're trying to fill the gap. Why would you need more materials? Because you have more orders, or you have an opportunity that you could take if you had these other materials over here. I told you guys this story before, but one of the reasons why we switched our business was because people said we didn't do enough. So once we decided that we were going to do other things other than synthetic turf, we had to get new materials to be able to do those. We didn't have to get all the materials, but we had to get some of those materials. So when you're trying to fill that gap, right? And we decided, okay, we want to increase our profits. We want to increase our product line. We're going to do this. What came up on the list? These are the materials we need in order to do it. And last, minutes. What are the times that you need? And a lot of times time goes back to manpower. And so one of the tools that we use in Lean, I'll kind of leave you guys with this because I'm running out of time. But one of the tools that we use in Lean is figuring out how long it takes for people to do things, right? So for example, you guys know that we just switched over to more of a service business. And so now we're taking lots of time studies. What's a time study? A time study is when you look at the person doing a function and you just study from what they do for what. How long does it take to power broom? How long does it take to clean? How long does it take to power wash, right? And we put all those things together, and this whole process takes an hour and a half. Why is that important? Because when I'm looking at capacity, and I know that it takes an hour and a half for two people to do one job, that tells me how many jobs I can do per day. If I know how many jobs I can do per day, I can start to predict how much revenue I have, right? So all of these things kind of go in together. And this is why I love Lean, right? Because you start putting these numbers together and it starts painting a picture for you that's more than just what people can say. So with that, I say, okay, it takes us an hour and a half to do a job. Let's say we do 2 jobs in the morning, that's 3 hours. We do 2 jobs in the evening, that's 6 hours. We take an hour for lunch, that's 7 hours. And then we have an hour for like a buffer time. That's how I figure out the day. So with 2 people, my capacity is 4 jobs per day. So now I know that if I had capacity to do 8 jobs a day, I would need what? At least 2 more people, because my capacity right now is set at 4 jobs and 2 people. That's why I love these types of gap analysis. This is why I love using data when we're making these decisions, because now you can actually have not mathematical certainty, but like a mathematical realism about what's actually going on, how long it takes. Because this is the one thing I love to do is people will always tell me, no, I need to do this. It takes me this long. And I'm like, okay, let's put it in numbers. And I start putting things in numbers and adding buffers and this and that. And you start realizing, it doesn't take as long as you thought it does. Or you know what? And I've been proving this a lot of times. It takes way longer than what you thought it does. And once you find out what the numbers really are, now you can adjust. So this is why gap analysis is important. This is why we're looking at what? Where are we? Numbers, data. God we trust. Bring your data. You're not God. Bring your data. Sorry. Identify where you want to be, when and how long you want to be there. What is that gap? And then start using the 6 M's to figure out how you're going to fill the gap. How can we fill the gap? Manpower. We can fill the gap with methods. We can fill the gap with metrics. We can fill the gap with materials. We can fill the gap with machines. We can fill the gap with minutes. So what is it that you need in order to fill the gap in your business? You guys, I love doing these trainings for you. I hope that you enjoy them. Please make sure that you leave your comments in the chat. So please make sure that you like. Please make sure that you subscribe. Please make sure that you become a member because we would love to have you as part of the team. Make sure that you get your tickets for the Black Summit that's coming up. Make sure that you just enjoy the rest of your day. All right, you guys, I'll see you next Wednesday at 5 o'clock. This is Nikisha Bond signing off. Thank you for joining us today, and I'll see you guys next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Everybody have a wonderful day. Bye.
One of the secrets to exposure for your business lies within supporting Black businesses and entrepreneurs. And that is why the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce is here to connect Black businesses from the desert to the sea. Let's join hands to empower and sustain our community. By becoming a member of the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce, you can grow your business and increase your clientele. With our innovation, we'll generate new businesses and get new customers. And we'll connect new mindsets with businesses from across Southern California to help bridge the wealth gap. Let's connect, build, and grow together. Join us now at blackchamberofcommerce.org.